Okay guys, we're at Middlesbrough Empire. In fact, the first time I've ever done an interview in this place actually. And so for the very first time that I've interviewed at Middlesbrough, joined by the guys from Soil. Gentlemen, good evening.
Hey. Good evening. You're in our luxurious, gigantic dressing room.
Let me just sort of pan round and get some sort of idea of
you don't have to go far.
Actually luxurious. Look at that mirror there, isn't that beautiful? They must have spent a fortune on this place.
Yeah, I think at least 17 people have been killed somewhere in the near proximity of that mirror from the looks of it.
I wouldn't actually argue against that. Anyway, gentlemen, welcome back to the UK. It's rather cold, but
it's much better than it is at home right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you guys are from Chicago, so you know all about cold and snow and wind and rain.
I just talked to a buddy of mine. He said it was. We're on a different, temperature scale, but it's negative 14 degrees over there, below zero. So, and it's snowing. So we're very happy to be here as opposed to Chicago.
Well, we are due a little bit of snow soon, I think, but let's hope it stays away. Let's talk about this tour. Good lineup. Skin Dread, of course, who are an excellent live band, very much like yourselves. How's it been going so far?
That's fun.
Pretty new. The tour just kicked off, hasn't it? A couple of nights ago.
Yeah, this will be the fifth night.
Yeah.
And we toured together back in 2002. So we've been big supporters of one another. They've always supported us whenever we've been over here. They've come out to the shows when they could. And whenever they're in the States, we come out and support them and when we can. And just not just friends, but fans of each other's music as well. So to be back on the road again with them, like 12 years later, it's cool. It's fun. We're having fun. We got both bands and crews crammed into one bus, which says a lot about how we're getting along. Because we're just having good times.
That's good. It's got to work, hasn't it? When it's that confined, when it's that tight. Yeah. Is the first time you've played in this particular town? Have you been to Middlesbrough before?
No. We've been here maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah, we just played here in 2011 with Puddle of Mud.
Oh, right.
With Soil, Puddle of Mud. It was the first tour with Ryan back in the band, and we played here. So this is our second time at this venue.
This venue as well?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad little venue, is it?
No, it's cool. It's fun. I always remember it because of the railings. So there's those weird railings.
We were just sitting on the way up, how strange it is with those railings around the stage, Very weird. The last album you guys put out was in 2013. I think it was your sixth album. Is that right? Hole, the name of the album.
Yeah. It was the first one with me, Adam, and Tim back together.
That's right. Yeah.
Writing and recording together, and it was fun. It was a different experience for us because there was no stuffed suit and tie behind a desk in some big city needing to throw his okay down on it before we were able to leave. At the end of the day, we made the decisions on what the album was going to be and what we were going to record and how we were going to record it and everything about it from the first aspect of writing till the end of the recording. Everything was our say. So it was cool to be in the studio and not have to worry about somebody looking over our shoulders. I think it was also cool for the producer to be in that situation too, where the bosses were right there with him creating the album. It was nice just to have the freedom to know that there was nobody other than the people in that room to please. It was cool. We had that gut feeling, that if we pleased ourselves, then we were going to please the fans at the end of the day too. And so far, it seems like that seems to be the case.
Yeah. So you think that was obviously a positive thing for you to be able to do that? It made the album be probably as best as it could possibly be. Yeah.
Adam and Tim have been playing together longer than I've been around, and I've been at this now for 17 years professionally with we're just Soil alone, and so it's to be in that situation for the first time in our careers. It was something we were very much looking forward to, but very much enjoyed at the same time. Yeah,
it's not something that probably would have happened a few years ago, is it? It's something that's maybe prevalent at this sort of age. It's happening more and more, isn't it?
I don't know if we would have had we've definitely, being in the business as long as we have, we've had a lot of contacts and stuff. We knew people that we wanted to work with on this record, but I don't know if we would have had I don't know if we would have the cojones to try to pull it off, a few years ago. Whereas, this time it was like, hell, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, it's 17 years, I think, for Soil almost. Is it maybe even longer than that, yeah? 2001 was the big year for Soil with Scars and all the MTV stuff, and the accolades that you guys received, and was it the next big thing sort of thing? Do you think have you lived up to that billing, do you think, or has it maybe been something that's been a bit of a burden for you?
It's people are always going to talk in the press and media and say this, and at the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that 17 years later, we're still out here doing it, playing in front of people, getting along with each other, enjoying playing with each other, and having the fans enjoy what we do. And I think that's very important, because when we're having a good time, that aura breathes into the crowd, and people can see that we're back taking this seriously and having a great time at it and pouring our hearts into it. And it just gives them more energy to work off of. And we're blessed to still be sitting here in the UK all these years later, playing a sold-out show tonight, with some great friends and another great band of our, Skindred, and able to do this. So, there's really nothing to live up to other than the fact that we just do what we do, and we hope that people still enjoy it.
Absolutely.
When we first came out, we came out with a lot of bands right there. And labels were still in that ignorant phase where they thought the money was never going to run out. And they were still signing bands left and right, and just throwing them up against the wall and seeing who's stuck out of the 20 bands they signed that month or whatever. And to still be sitting here, I can look back and I can remember sharing the stage with some amazingly talented musicians and stuff. And they just, for whatever reason, a lot of times it's just pure dumb luck. A lot of those bands aren't around anymore. And thanks to our fans, we're still able to sit here and do this. It's an amazing gift.
It's good. You have a very loyal fan base, and it's. I think it's because you're an honest band, aren't you? And people can see that. People can see through phony, through bullshit, can't they? They realise what you do is what you love doing it. So it transcends, doesn't it?
I think the first major label we were on, there was a gentleman there at the label that he used to just blow me crap all the time. He wanted me to dress differently and to shave and to cut my hair, and he was just always on me to change my image. And that's just I'm always a simple-minded kid from small farm town in Indiana, and I always just held firm on this is me. And I think it was sometime during the album Redefined early on that he came up to me and I was like, all that stuff I've been telling you for the past couple of years, just ignore it. For some reason, they're understanding who you are and it's working for you, so just keep going. I was like there was another choice involved in that.
Yeah, it's good that you stay true to yourselves. That's excellent. Another good thing about this tour as well is, as you've just touched on there, that tonight's a sold-out show, and there's been quite a few sold-out shows on the tour, and a few more to come as well.
Everything so far has been sold out.
Which in this day and age is absolutely phenomenal. It's amazing. And I mean, they aren't particularly small venues. They aren't stadiums and they aren't mega arenas, but the decent-sized venues that you're playing as well. So that's wonderful.
Absolutely.
We can't take all the credit on that. Holding it up as well. I mean, I think the combo of the two bands has been really helping push it over the edge. I mean, Skindred has a huge and gigantic loyal fan base here, and we have a very loyal and large fan base here. And I think combining the two really kind of set it over the edge this time around, and gave the fans kind of a 2-for-1, if you will. So we're really excited to be part of it.
A lot of bands that I've spoken to have said it doesn't matter whether there's 5 people down there or there's 5,000, we still put on a good show. But it must be nice to get.
No, it matters.
It does matter. Of course it does. Yeah, I mean you get a feedback from the audience, don't you? You feel that vibe and electricity, and it must make you guys.
Just as you were saying, being a real band, we're not up there. It's not like I've been out on the road with bands where I'm not going to mention a name. There was one band in particular I remember I did a couple tours with them when I was in Drowning Pool, and I remember sitting back in the back of the room at the merch table, and their merch guy was saying everything that the singer was saying as he said it, because the show was so contrived and so cookie cutter night after night that the merch dude was back there word for word, everything that came out of the singer's mouth between songs he was saying it as he was saying it. And we're not that type of band. We've always been a plug and play freaking rock band. So yeah, I mean, thank goodness we have energetic fans because we feed off of that. So I'd have to say bogus to the 5 people. If there's 5 people out there, you're going to see me beating on like, oh man. I'm going to start feeling my age at that point.
There are some bands though that play music by numbers, isn't there? Like you say, it's hopefully people can see through that. Most people can see through that, can't they?
I hope so.
I do as well, yeah. Sort of any plans to start writing and looking at the next album, or is that something that's down the line?
We're only one single in so far.
Yeah, this new record's so new. It's not even 6 months old yet. It came out in August. So nowadays for records, you have to stay on the road for a year and a half, 2 years promoting these records to make them do anything. So we're just at the beginning stages of getting fired up. The last thing on our mind is putting out a new record. We have a lot of work to do with this one and a lot of touring and more singles down the road and videos.
When did Redefine come out?
It was
03?
It was 04. It was March 14th of 2004.
So that was 10 years ago since we did an album together. The three of us. I mean, we may call quits again and come back like in our mid-60s.
You heard it here first.
It's hard to tell. I don't look at tomorrow anymore. We're having fun with this right now. We're enjoying the way this album's being, received and embraced, and so now we haven't even talked about any future plans.
You're not one of these bands that say, "Oh God, we've got like 25 songs ready for the next album." Like 2 days after this one came out, it's how good.
No.
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 You're not that prolific.
We wrote enough for this record with a few stragglers that we could, we're able to chop as you always do. But we poured all our energy and our hearts and souls into this one. We got a ways to go with it yet.
Cool, excellent. We just had a pan round here and looked at the very salubrious surroundings.
You wouldn't know it by the fabulous dressing room and
Wonderful
accommodations we had.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything's going really well. We're really happy.
this is the glamorous side of being on the road, is it? Not?
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes just having a dressing room is good enough.
Oh,
so
right,
there you go.
You got showers?
I have not
I don't
noticed
think this
any.
venue has showers.
I'd have a wash basin and get washed in or something, yeah.
Yeah, we had
Wash your hands and face, that'd be okay, that's something else.
I've taken my share of bird baths on the road. The sink has been my glamorous accommodations more times than not, probably.
So I imagine everything's you're just hanging around now, you're doing a few interviews, you're talking, and shooting the breeze and that, but it all builds up to showtime, obviously, when you get down there, when you get your instruments strapped on and you warm up vocally, that's when it all comes to life, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems so strange hanging around all day just to do that one sort of 40 minute, whatever it is.
Whether you're, like in our situation on this tour, you're direct support, so we got like a 45-minute set, or if you're headlining, you're sitting, at an hour plus, and that's your payoff. That's your payoff for the mind excruciating boredom that occurs every other moment of the day that you're awake. Is that little bit of time to get out there with people that allow us to do what we do, and that's the reward for being away from family and loved ones, I guess.
Yeah, that must be hard. Yeah. So what do you do after the show? Do you pop down and speak to people, or do you tend to just sort of get your thoughts together? Do you go and watch the other bands or not?
We can generally, at least there's always one or all of us out and about. We've always, from day one, we've always been a pretty accessible band. And I think that's probably gone a long way as far as having that real connection with the I hate calling them. I'm such a friggin' hillbilly. I hate even calling them fans. It's like we owe them everything. So it's like fans seems like such an impersonable. I don't know. But we've always been one to be in direct contact.
We need to invent a new word for them, don't we? Really? I mean, fans. I don't like fans either. I don't like fans.
I've never cared for
followers. No, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
I always refer to them as the Soil family. I mean, we owe them everything we do.
Cool. I mean, live is where it's at. Obviously, you get up there, you play, and you love it. It's your adrenaline buzz, etc. What about in the studio? Is it something that you enjoy, or is it something that has to be done?
I get I'm usually really hammered when I go out on stage, and I'm usually really hammered in the studio too, so it's really kind of similar. I mean, I close my eyes, and I get hammered enough and close my eyes, I can see the crowd in the studio.
I've never been one for the. I mean, I like going in the studio because you're creating this idea you have, but it's the always the uncertainty of okay, when this goes down and we're finished with it, this is what's going to be there for the rest of our lives, so it's always nerve-wracking thinking, did we put enough of this on there? Is it the right songs on there? Did we do this right? Did we do that right? I'm a neurotic person to begin with, so that extra stress always gets me more high-strung. But this last record, honestly, was the best experience I've ever had making a record. We went in there more relaxed and more just organic and just let what we were feeling come out. And it was actually the best experience I've ever had in the studio. I wish all my studio sessions had always been like that, but this one was great. So.
Will that cost the three of you back together again for the first time in a while, do you think, or was it just other factors as well?
I think it was because we were all on the same page. And like Ryan was saying, we didn't have anybody telling us what to do. And we didn't have any more cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It was us and producer Ulrich Wild who helped, take our, vision and make it a reality. And, it was just fun to make. We felt good about it, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So
Yeah.
I played bass for so many years before I kind of pushed and forced into having to sing. And I've always, for the longest time, it was something I fought with, because I've always been more of the old school bass mentality of just kind of finding a shadow to hide in, and I'm good back there. And so it took me a long time to get to the point where I felt comfortable with talking to crowds or anything. So for the longest time, really, in my career, the studio was the fun part.
Right.
It was watching the songs become something. I remember the first time Adam or Tim or somebody throw a riff at me, and then how that grew, and then to see it in the studio taking more steps towards that final product. That was always the really interesting part to me. It was more painful, because I didn't drink back then too. That might have a lot to do with it, but
a lot of pain comes out of not doing that.
It was really painful yelling in front of the crowd sometimes. So the studio was my haven. That was my favorite part about doing what we were doing. And I learned something about myself though in the past few years. I've tried to walk away from music now twice, and I've realized in that process that, wow, things have changed up for me a little bit. There is a rush about that live show now for me that when you don't have it anymore, you walk away from it for a reason. You walk away because you want, you feel like you need to get, refresh. You need to get your mind clear, and then all of a sudden you don't have that anymore. You're like, shit, I kind of miss that now.
Yeah.
You realize how lucky you were to have accomplished a point in your career, in this career, to be able to do that.
So it's a whole new dynamic for you now, then, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of did the flip flop.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously, this is your life. Soil is your life, but you must have other interests outside of music. What do you get off on? Anything in particular?
I've got two boys. One's 16 and one's 11, and they're both jocks. The oldest is into American football, and the youngest is a nutcase for hockey, and now getting into soccer as well. And so it's I just follow. I live vicariously. I've always been the short kid and everything, so I live vicariously through my two little athletes, and I'm a American football freak myself. So other than that, I think we've all got our own little business dealings outside of music that takes a lot of our time.
Yeah.
And I try to keep up with the kids and what they're doing as much as I can. That's kind of my pastime.
So when does this tour take you through till? You're into Europe after you've done the UK for a while.
Well, we finished the UK, and then we're going to the body of Europe, and then that ends February 15th or 16th, somewhere around there. And then we actually fly home for 2 days, and then we have to fly to Australia to start the Soundwave Festival.
Hi, honey, I'm home. Bye.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of some travel rigors, but the Soundwave Festival is what me personally I'm really looking forward to, because we've only been to Australia one other time, and it was just playing like places the size of this place tonight. But the Soundwave Festival is like 80,000 people,
big festival,
over 10 stages.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands that we're good friends with that are going to be there, and just the experience alone, it's going to be something really cool to be a part of something that we've never really seen before. So
It's one of the few countries I haven't been to, so I'm looking forward to being able to see it. And then when I'm old and my kids are wondering where the hell I was all their life, I'll be like, well, I got to go to Australia. I got to go here and I got to go there. Yeah, I know I suck.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you very much indeed. As I say, we've got video, we've got audio as well. Anything you'd like to say before we end the interview?
Thank you for giving us a way to be in contact with people that give us a job to do.
It's a pleasure.
And thank them for giving us that job.
Okay, guys, best of luck tonight. Best of luck with the rest of the tour.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you once again, and we'll catch up with you next time we're here.
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Cheers, guys.